Listen to the radio. Harry and Edna's Wireless Show. You heard it from the Three Bells.
What-o, Harry?
And what-o, Edna. And welcome to Harry and Edna on the Wireless. And today it's all a very grand day. It's so grand it would be a skyscraper if it was a building. It would be the Empire State Building. And why is this?
Well, Harry and I have been lucky enough to be invited along to the Waldorf Hilton and to come and experience the Waldorf Hilton itself, but also take part in the Charleston Tea Dance.
And we are slowly drinking our way through the tea menu, and I can't even announce what we have here. This is amazing tea.
We are actually drinking the Waldorf Tribute Blend, which Harry and I, to be quite honest, aren't black tea drinkers, but we thought let's indulge ourselves and dive in and experience the whole thing as it's meant to be done when you're here at a beautiful venue having an absolutely gorgeous tea. And we're actually quite impressed, aren't we?
I'm loving. I'm really enjoying this tea. You see, I have a tea anecdote, and I shall tell you this. Many years ago, and young Edna may recall, I went for a job at the House of Lords, and it was quite a prestigious job, and there was about 8 or 9 of these fine gentlemen of the realm interviewing me, and it was an hour-long interview, and then 40 minutes of my interview was taken up with them arguing amongst themselves over what tea they should drink, and this just went on and on and on, and in the end they asked me, and I said, you know what, Thai food would do me.
Yeah, but I really strongly think that's why you didn't get offered the job. I think that was one of the interview questions, and it was testing how well you know your teas, what time of day the tea should be taken, and really how you fit into that upper echelons of society.
I think you may be right, because it was something like, what tea shall we have? Shall we, I don't know, Earl Grey? Well, it's nearly 11 o'clock, old boy. What about should it be done? And this just went on and on and on and on. So if only I had come to the Waldorf Hilton, and I could have said, I want
the Waldorf Tribute Blend. But sadly, it's only unique to the Waldorf Hotel, because Harry and I have already tried to say to the waiter, could we buy some? But he suggested we blend our own, which is going to be another new experience for us.
What ho?
Well, as I'm enjoying my tribute tea here, young Edna's been doing some research about the Waldorf.
I have, and as I realised, the Waldorf was named after Lord William Astor, he invested in the Waldorf Hotel, and it really is amazing. And they've spent $13.5 million on a hotel-wide renovation, and it really is absolutely stunning. You can't really sum it up into more words than that. You come into the most grandest hotel, and there really is a feeling of stepping back in time to a kind of luxury and an opulence of the era, but they've sort of kept it modern and kept it fused with forward thinking and modernisation. And I wish Harry and I could go up and have a sneaky peek at the Astor Suite, which we'll hear about in a little while, because I just want to press the button that summons somebody with champagne.
Well, you would want to do that, wouldn't you? Now, if you do go on the internet and you Google, you can see pictures, because we're in the Palm Court room, I believe, and I've seen pictures of this, but it's not until you're actually physically here do you just realise how wonderful this place is. While I think I might go for another one of these teas. I think I might go for the Earl or something like that next. But young Edna's going to scamper off, and who are you going to have a quick chat with?
I'm going to have a quick chat with Cedric Horgneys, and I do apologise, Cedric, if that's not how you pronounce your surname, but he is the Director of Operations here at the Waldorf.
What ho?
Well, Harry and I are so excited because we are guests at the Waldorf Hilton, and we've come to see a Charleston Tea Dance. But just before we launch into the tea dance, we are again really excited because we are sat with Cedric, who is the Director of Operations here at the Waldorf Hilton. Welcome to the show, Cedric.
Thank you so much. Delighted to be with you today, Harry and Edna. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to our tea dance today.
Now, Cedric, for those listeners who have no idea what the Waldorf Hilton is, apart from the fact they must have been asleep for the last 100 years, could you describe to our listeners when you arrive at the Waldorf Hilton, what does it look like? What's the appearance? What sort of feeling do you get on arrival?
Well, first of all, I'd like to mention that the hotel opened in 1908. So the hotel's got a great heritage, which makes it an iconic hotel just in Theatre Land. So great location. And where we are today, sitting for the tea dance, is in a Palm Court, which is listed with the English heritage. And it's, if you think of the Titanic, for our listeners, this is the inspiration behind the ballroom of the Titanic movies. So you could just imagine the ground where we are, not only with the history of the dancing, but the setting as well, which is wonderful.
And maybe I've got my history completely wrong, but it was linked in with Titanic, with the Astors. Have I got the right Astors, or is my history completely wrong?
The hotel was built thanks to Astor, which was the person behind the finance of the hotel to open in 1908. So no, you're absolutely right, and hence why it's called the Waldorf Hilton, behind the name of our founder of the hotel.
And so, how does a hotel like the Waldorf keep going for 100 years? Because I'm guessing in today's market with hotels, it really is quite something to have such a long heritage, such a long-standing hotel here in central London.
Yes, it is, and at the same time it's our strength where we have the heritage of the hotel, and that's where the dancing element is so important to us, as we first started with tea dance in 1910, so just more than 100 years ago. Sadly, as you mentioned, there's some events that do change the world, and the tea dance stopped in 1939. When a bomb just shattered the Palm Court roofing. But we started again in 1982, so just more than 30 years ago, and it just shows that with our heritage, part of our DNA, people just love to come and get that bit of nostalgia when they celebrate the dancing element.
And when you walk into the Palm Court here at the Waldorf, has it changed much since it opened originally, or is this as it would have been when it opened in 1910?
It is very much so, and where we refurbished the hotel in 2015, we put a lot of focus to keep that heritage. So even the bar would have changed just before the Palm Court, but now it's more decorated in terms of 1920s Art Deco style. So we want to make sure we keep that alive. And the Palm Court's very much like it was when we first opened, which is truly amazing. And at the same time, that's why it's great to be part of the English heritage, great that listed building where it kept that longevity.
And so when you walk into the Palm Court, it's such a bright, airy space, and it really is stunning with all its architecture and the tables laid out and the dance floor. Would you have seen the same views? Would it have been the same decor when you walked into the very first tea dance?
Yes, it is. And again, with the glass roof above the very high ceiling of Palm Court, you got all that nice light coming through, which make it really truly amazing with our large vintage clock and all the lighting around the balustrades, so you're a bit elevated, again, for the benefit of our listener, where you could then see down towards the main dancing part of the Palm Court, which is fantastic.
And when the hotel resurrected the tea dances in the early 80s, what was the idea behind resurrecting the dance? Was it a need to go back to your history and heritage, or was it just something you thought, do you know what, let's give this a try? Is there a market out there? Is there a kind of corner of the market we can capture, going back to that sort of nostalgic feel?
Yes, there was, not really a financial need. It's more a need to attach ourselves to our DNA of the hotel and to the heritage we have, and to try it out. Sometimes we try a new element and it does not always work, but since 1982 it's been very popular, and we are fully booked today, which just shows the interest in London, where we are part of a very few places in London that still do tea dance, which I guess make it more iconic for our guests and our listeners.
So when you book a tea dance here at the Waldorf, What is the package that you get? It's not just the music and the dancing. There's actually a lot more involved.
Yes, I mean, first of all, we are famous also for afternoon tea, and you do enjoy a great afternoon tea, which is very traditional, very British, with the sandwich, the scones, the pastries. But at the same time, with a 5-piece band, you enjoy the live music, and again, in terms of Charleston, it's also our performers that just create that vibe and atmosphere. So it's a really full day out for our guests that comes out of enjoying themselves and being entertained, and at the same time enjoying some dance as well.
Do you get lots of people that come here who are regulars to the tea dances, or do you get a blend of those that are just here for that nostalgic experience and those that are here because it's a lovely place to practice your Charleston?
Yeah, we get a bit of both, which is great for us. So we have our regulars that always come back, but we also have some new guests who just want to try it, or for people who just want to do something different. So it's a great mixture of guests from all age.
And it's lovely to see so many people dressed up. Do you encourage people to dress up?
We really leave it to the people to come and enjoy it. But again, from the environment where we are, iconic hotel, over 100 years old, tea dance, Charleston, people naturally tend to dress up for the occasion.
And Charleston isn't just the only dance tea dance afternoon that you do. You've started introducing some different dances as well. So you've got things like your tango suppers. Are they quite popular?
Yes, they are, and again, it's part of our music heritage, where we have the Waldorf band in the 20s. So we had the tea dance, which we just discussed, and we started also with the tango. So we have more tea dance, because that's again the afternoon tea is the key element for people to come along. But we do a tango supper, which proved to be very popular. So again, you have demonstration of tango before people are invited to try it on the dance floor, and at the same time enjoy a dinner in our homage restaurant.
And again, do you get people dressing up? Do people really throw themselves into a tango supper and dress and behave as tango dancers would have done?
Yes, I mean, tango, again, you got that passion behind it, so people do come, want to really immerse themselves into the tango supper. So they dress up, they enjoy the performance, and at the same time dress up for the occasion. And with all the new built hotels in London, some customers enjoy to see that grandeur of the 20th century and see that tradition carry on with our gold key concierge, with our dormant, our afternoon tea. So the people do enjoy to see something different. And again, it's not about our Hilton brand. That's why it's the heritage of the hotel, which is important, which the guests do enjoy when they come. So it's really entertaining to see something different for them.
Is it important, do you think, for the future of the hotel to keep branching out in ways that is slightly different to other hotels, but trying to marry that up with making sure you keep your heritage in the core of what you do?
Yes, it is very important to us, and again, it's London is a great place for people to come and visit, or for Londoners to come and enjoy some element of our hotel. But it's important that we are different from other 5-star hotels in London, or from iconic hotels, which we are, and that's where we want to keep that difference and maintain our heritage, which is important to our guests but also to our team members, which they want to be part of.
What ho!
Well, we've now moved from the tea dance into the homage restaurant, which is again an absolutely stunning room to be in with its architecture. Now, the hotel was refurbished quite recently.
Yes, that's correct. We've done a full refurbishment last year, and to celebrate that refurbishment, we have restored the Astor Suite, which again is named after our benefactor, Lord William Astor. And we refurbished it to a contemporary take on the 1920s. So we do have a gramophone, for example, which is all digital, but at the same time you could enjoy a vinyl on it. We have a vintage telephone, and my favorite twist, and also from a lot of our customer, is the press for champagne button. Which is fantastic. Just press it and you get champagne straight to your suite. But we got also 4-poster bed, so some really nice touch. And people now do ask for that Astor Suite. So that was the great celebration of our refurbishment, which we refurbished our ballroom, the Adelphi Suite, the Palm Court, just being all our meeting rooms, our bedrooms, and homage restaurant.
And when you're refurbishing a hotel like the Waldorf with its long history, does it take a lot of planning to refurbish it? Do you try and keep it to a particular style or period, or is that something that you can then evolve? You can say, right, we've done the 1920s, let's do a 30s room. How does the planning behind the refurb go?
It does take a lot of planning, again linked to the heritage of the hotel. There's some element of the hotel that are great to listing. So there's some element that we have been very careful to maintain with the heritage of each room. So our executive ballroom, for example, has not changed much, even the painting there in our executive ballroom. But some other parts of the hotel, then we could make it more in line with the modern requirement of our guests.
And is that the reason why the Astor Suite has this sort of fusion of 1920s feel stroke modernity, because people still want their TVs and they still want their digital radios?
Yes, people want modern comfort, but at the same time it's great to link back to the history of the hotel, and that was the perfect occasion in terms of the name of our benefactor for behind the hotel that opened in 1908, and at the same time to that 1920s touch, which is a great era for the hotel and for London.
Is it a very popular suite? Do people book it because it has such a different feel for it? Now, personally, I would book it because it is a 1920 suite, but there's that fantastic press for champagne button.
Yes, it is. It is high demand for it, so we always recommend to book in advance and ask specifically for it. But at the same time, just think of celebration, or for honeymoon couple, or for your wedding anniversary or birthday celebration, or people just want to have a great romantic time in London. So yes, I do recommend to book in advance.
And do you get people coming into the hotel that just want to step back in time and just sort of hanker for that feel-good era of the 20s?
Yes, we do. Or people just want to have a relaxing time, so you come to Good Godfrey's Bar, or they just come for a dinner in our homage restaurant. So we've got a real mix of clientele, from early to people who have been with us for a long time, since they were children, and they keep coming back for that memory. And it's very important to our team as well to keep creating that memory and experience. At the same time, we do attract a lot of new customers. So again, it's great for all people who visit the Waldorf Hilton.
The tea dances are very popular. They're booked out. You've got your tango suppers. How do you look to the future for the hotel? Are you going to look at alternative dances to host, or alternative performances that you can hold here?
Yes, of course, and that's why after the tea dance we started with the tango supper. So that's we always look for what else could we do to link back to the amazing palm courts that we have. So with that rich tradition of dancing, we have is a natural flow. Watch the space for after the tea dance, the tango, what's next to come at the Waldorf Hilton.
And so how would our listeners find out more information about the Hilton or the Waldorf, and what you've got going on here, how to book that beautiful Astor Suite?
Yes, they'll be able to go on our website, waldorf.hilton.com. They could also call on 0207 836 2400 for our Waldorf afternoon tea, or simply email our homage.waldorflondon@hilton.com. So that's HOMAGE homage.waldorflondon@hilton.com.
thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon, and for inviting us to this beautiful hotel. I shall take Harry onto the floor shortly and give him a whirl round with the Charleston, but thank you very much for talking to us.
What ho?
Going back to the beginning, the start of the hotel's history, was this particular spot chosen for where it is here in the theatre land, or was it just a building that was an empty building that they thought, you know what, we could turn that into a hotel?
Absolutely, there's a strong heritage to the West End, and that was the reason, I guess, for the location. You know, it's popular to this day because of that. You know, right in the heart of theatre land. So I think absolutely yes.
And there is quite a lot of stories. You can't have a hotel this old and not have lots of great stories connected to it. And you were just telling us earlier about a story where the hotel was connected to the theatre and there was a door for a special reason.
Absolutely. So now the room is called Homage Private Lounge. And actually, there would have been a door that linked directly to the theatre next door, to the stage door. So the Gaiety Girls would come in through that door and be met by gentlemen, basically. So yes, that was the holding area, the powder room, so to speak, and they would wait there for the Gaiety Girls to come through.
And do you have, with a hotel steeped in history like this, are there any stories that are linked to the hotel, any sort of good historic stories, or have you had lots of famous people come to the hotel and have their stories?
Absolutely. The hotel over the years has hosted lots of glamorous events and parties, you know, to opening nights of shows, to gala charity events. So over the years, lots and lots of celebrities and lots of VIP guests visiting the hotel, but you know, exactly because of the location, an iconic London hotel.
So would you have entertained all the great and the good, from royalty to actors to actresses, spanning over the 100 years of the history of the hotel?
Absolutely. Thespians of the stage and all sorts. So and still do to this day. So we often have opening night parties here at the hotel for the West End shows, and very popular to this day.
What ho?
Right. Now, young Edna is on the 1908 Waldorf cocktails, which I think, well, heaven help us all. It's a bit like when she hits the snowballs at Christmas. I think it's time for us to say tinkety-tonk. But before we go, as we leave the wonderful Charleston Tea Dance, I've got a confession to make. I went to the bathroom, and you know, I spent 10 minutes trying to work out how you turn the taps on.
Well, Harry, it's just obviously you're not used to these modern sinks that they have now in an Art Deco style where it all looks the same and you're not sure which bit does what and goes where. But I'm glad to see you made it out after 20 minutes of being in the bathroom.
Well, it was worrying. A mistake either way could be quite a disaster. So it's just time for me to say toodle pip.
And it's a 1908 Waldorf birthday cocktail, which is quite strong. Tinkety-tonk from me.